Hello my dear students, welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the Imperial Japanese Navy, the not so mighty Imperial Japanese Navy after the previous episode where Congo may have suffered a little bit of a scratch. But not going to spend too long on an intro today. I don't want to cut down on the length of these, just feel that they go on for a little bit too long recently. However, having said that, today I want to give you lovely viewers some love by saying thank you very much for all of your lovely views and staying with such a person as me as well. Feel sometimes not, of course, not the best presenter at all, but yeah, I very much appreciate having you guys around. Very nice of you to stick with this series. Made a lot of progress over the last few weeks as well. Very close to 200 subscribers, which is absolutely on board amazing. Now. Feels like not so long ago we were saying thank you to having 100 subscribers. So if you were to ask me how that feels out of 100, I would say, is there such a number as 200? So we're going to leave that there. Again, thank you very much for sticking with us. Probably going to lose all of you after that, but let's go straight over these to the strategic map, shall we? Alrighty then, so like we just alluded to in the previous episode, we did get a little bit of a scratch on the Congo, just some minor damage there. So we are going to have to send it back to Rabaul to rest and repair, which will take a bloody long time with the damage it's taken. What we have in the dockyard as of yet is just the Ryujo. And the Asashio. Asashio, can't remember exact damage it took, but not the biggest, but enough to put it out of action for a bit. Ryujo, of course, just resupplying its air groups. In the meantime, we do have Taiyo in Task Force 9 over here to provide some zeros and some Kates in its absence. And once the Ryujo is done, we're going to bring back the Hiyo for some much needed aircraft replenishment as well. Otherwise, we're going to bring back our current task force here to protect the carriers once again and to screen over Guadalcanal. That doesn't need to push in too far, and we're going to carry on with the screening with our subs. Our IJN is out of torpedoes, so that is going to replenish them at the Shortland Islands with the level 3 port, which is absolutely brilliant. So we do have a full stock of torpedoes in Task Force 4 over here, which will be screening the north of Guadalcanal over here. We do have I-17 here with some 13 torpedoes as well. We do think there may be a carrier in this sort of area, just generally really. That's the accuracy of our scouting as of yet. We do have a lot of Jakes and Glens and such. We do have some roofs coming out in this gap over here, so we are going to be looking at scouting that out. And because we have just loaded in the game, we can see a submarine out here, perhaps one over here as well. I am going to launch some Jakes with depth charges. That's said none over there, too used to doing that. I'm going to launch some with depth charges over here to see if we can scout that out, see what we can do about that. Otherwise, let's get going, and I'll see you with another report as ever in the future. Okay, so it does look like we're coming into contact with this enemy submarine over here. We have been blessed with the ability to keep sight of that, actually, over the period it took to get over there. So we are going to drop these depth charges on. Ooh, okay, it's, I forget what the name of that is. Is it S-Class for some reason, I want to say? Where are we? It is, yeah, an S-Class. There's 31 of them. Oh, about some short-range torpedoes at 3.2 kilometers. I bet these are extremely stealthy. Yeah, the detection is 67%, and the visible is 8 kilometers. That is, yeah, extremely stealthy submarine there. So we do need to get rid of it. I was expecting it to have tried to submerge by now. Doesn't appear to be the case. Probably should have brought bombs rather than depth charges, so we'll see what we can do. We are going to be dropping now. In fact, there we go. That's a lot of depth charges in the water there. Let's go and see what they do. It's not currently trying to submerge there, though. Yeah, okay. Let's take a report. No damage, lovely stuff. And yeah, they did explode on impact there by the looks of it, which is excellent stuff. And of course now it's submerging. Alrighty then, let's come back and we'll just have to leave that, I suppose. A bit unfortunate start to the day there. We could send this roof over to look, see exactly what this is, but it's not the biggest threat at the moment. We do have 2 destroyers over here to deal with that if it is in fact a submarine. In fact, we are going to have a look at that with them. Let's get some use out of them indeed. We do have a lot of scouts over here actually. We do have some Hayabuses over here actually. Let's cycle through our planes very quickly. There we go. So what we're going to do is begin by getting rid of this scout, which is looking over the Congo in our main task force here. Let's go for that. We don't have a lot of fuel left on our Hayabuses just yet, so it may just have to be this one that we get down. And there we go. Go straight to tactical, see what we can do. Can we indeed spot it at all? We do have some Jakes in the area as well as our Congo. So let's see if we can break off here and split these into 2 and put them in separate directions here. And I think we're going to snap to what happens next, because this may take some time. And of course it's directly over the Congo, should have predicted that. If the Congo is here actually, I am just going to retreat out, because there is the small possibility that it will sink due to all of the current floods on it. I have seen that happen to other ships in this game. So we are going to leave, I'm afraid. That is rather unfortunate there. I am actually going to tell these Hayabuses to return to base. Ooh, we have been resupplied. We needed that a lot earlier, but not to worry. Not to worry, we're going to source out, if we can, as many of these scouts as possible. So I will come back with that, I think. May I feeling another montage, I think, if that does appear to be the case. Okay, so a few in-game hours have passed, and the only contacts we've had outside of those scout planes are actually just north of Guadalcanal, where some of these scout planes are coming from, and that is a task force of mostly 2 light cruisers and a New Orleans. We have hit them earlier, can't remember exactly where from. I bet they were escorting a carrier of some sort. Just waiting for them to get a little bit closer. There was a scout plane in the air, so we are at, I believe, 30 meters below sea level here, so that doesn't spot us. Learning from our previous mistakes, a couple of you very kind to say in the comments exactly how we were being spotted before we launched our torpedoes previously. So we are staying at 30 meters. We're on 5 times speed just to get this a little bit closer. And I think actually now that we're sub 5 kilometers away from them, we are going to start going to periscope depth now. We're only going to attack the one Cleveland, feeling in a little bit of a charitable mood today, and I am trying to stay true to saying previously that I was going to limit my use of submarines, but unfortunately I don't think there's much else going to happen today. Which we'll see. Hopefully we'll find something decent. Another carrier would be lovely stuff. That one we've been hunting down to the south, the Wasp I believe it was. Would be very great indeed if we could pick that up today, but with this game you never know your luck. Things come and go as they please. So the number 6 actually is a destroyer, so the only covering destroyer in the way is actually the number 7 out here on the wrong side of the Cleveland, which we're going to attack. We can see that we have hit the New Orleans before, so what I'm actually going to do is launch a very wide spread. Actually, no, I'm not, because of the lead we have to take for that Cleveland. Let's just say we got quite close, because we're on a 93% solution. Let's say our torpedoes came from this angle. They would go straight through over and not hit anything else. So I am only going to launch 4 torpedoes. It's a 1 degree spread, I think. So let's do that, just to make sure we get the Cleveland down. Actually, we are quite close to it, so we're going to go for... let's go for a 2 degree spread. just because I want to make sure we hit separate compartments of the Cleveland. What a very nice solution, so we're very likely to hit. So let's upscope. Go to binocular view. And there we go. 95% solution. Gurai hasha, as the Japanese say. So I mean, should be very good there. Should be very, very nice indeed. I am going to, I think, lower our periscope and go down to 40 meters below sea level. Go to 2 knots so we don't cause any cavitation, and run the hell away. We have this submarine sat still at silent, or rigged for silent, so we should be okay. Let's just wait for these torpedoes to do their job and pray that we don't get spotted on the turnouts here. We're not set. Ooh, okay, we're going to 5 knots suddenly. Let's bring that down to 2. Reduce the cavitation. That should be absolutely lovely. Should not be spotted before these torpedoes hit. A very, very nice strike there. We actually got a magazine explosion on the stern magazine there, which is absolutely brilliant, especially since only 3 torpedoes hit. Never a guaranteed sink if that's the case, I've found at least. Do need 4, I would say, ideally to sink a cruiser, but I will happily take that. Very nice Cleveland death there. Let's see exactly what we have left in terms of Clevelands. That is actually our first sinkage. Okay, interesting. I thought we may have got one before. Not a problem there though. So let's retreat out and yeah, see what else we can get. Lovely there. Lovely single command point. And 11.9 thousand tons of shipping sunk. So just so you know, the position of that was actually over here. Does look like they're retreating down perhaps to the New Hebrides to pick up another carrier perhaps, or to push on to Guadalcanal through here. So what we're going to do is actually bring this group down, just to zigzag a little bit, bring them around to the entrance of Guadalcanal, bring them up like that, and they can actually stay on a patrol route like that, I think. This was going to replenish, wasn't it, actually? So I think the wiser choice here would be bring this down to guard Guadalcanal for now. We are just waiting to get resupplied. We do have quite a few days left, actually. 4 days, I believe, if my maths is correct. Yeah, so that's going to be quite a while before we can do anything with our supplies. We have 0 troops on Rabaul at the moment, and we do want to reinforce Guadalcanal with both troops and supplies. I don't really like the chances of it defending itself at the moment. Melita especially can't defend itself. We're still fighting the resistance on there. A little undersupplied, but it shouldn't make any difference with the progress bar as it is there. And Florida Islands certainly won't be able to defend themselves either. So we do need to make sure that we have some sort of submarines screening Guadalcanal so we can at least hit some supply ships there, as is their true function. So once again, I'll get back to you with another report, I believe. Again, fairly quiet. Perhaps we do want to launch some fighters into this empty area here, and in fact that's what we're going to do now. Just some fighters at the moment, just some Hayabusa's to scout around. This will trigger some Lightnings and Kitty Hawks and such off of Port Moresby and Milne Bay to chase us, so we'll try and avoid them as much as we can. But otherwise, we're not really seeing much else, are we? So we're going to launch those like that. Not a lot of thought needs to be put in at all. These are just for sight, not for striking. If we find anything worth striking, then we shall send something else out, I think. Some Toryus, maybe. Yeah, we'll see in a minute. Alrighty then, so on the next day we have spotted some enemy aircraft inbound for our cruiser task force here, which was escorting the Congo, and here they have popped up. It does appear to be from Renault Island, We can see that there's not many about at all, just a couple mariners, and I imagine these are Catalinas. Yes, they are indeed. Lovely stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is just tell, obviously, a couple Habsers to focus these here. Send 2 Habsers on each Catalina, I think, just to make sure they go down fairly easily. Not going to be a difficult engagement at all. We do appear to have another minor scout plane in the area as well, and that's not going to be a problem whatsoever. We could probably get that if it stays within the engagement zone fairly easily, actually, with our Habsers once we've destroyed these mariners over here. We have been very lucky that they haven't spawned right on top of our ships over here. We're very lucky that our Habsers made it in time to actually intercept these, which is brilliant stuff. I actually thought I noticed a little bit too late, but the Habsers outrunning the mariners and such here is very nice indeed. So what we're going to do is just fast forward, and it'll stop once we get in range. Oh, sorry, my complaining there. Voice does not want to work today. I do apologise. Should be able to get this down fairly easily. That's why I want 2 on 1 there. That's why I want 2 on 1. But we're not going to change our orders automatically today, are we? Can't be doing that. Going to approach these. No, there we go. There you go. Automatically change the orders. Why would you want to stick to the same order? It just makes no sense. How dare you? Okay, so let's go over here. That one. Lovely stuff. Let's check all of these. That's fine. Okay, so does that mean we destroyed the mariner over here? It does appear so. So let's go for this. I imagine that's a kingfisher. It is indeed. Excellent. Let's get as many as we can on there, or just 2 will be fine. Let's make sure we don't die to the tail gunner, which has happened before. Very shamefully has happened before. Does look like we're going to miss the approaching fire there, but we should be able to circle back round without issues and take down these Catalinas. Very lucky they don't appear to have any tail gunners themselves, or at least they're being very lazy today, and or out of ammo, of course. Didn't want to they fancied their chances. Didn't want to load any tail gunner ammunition today. And it's just as well for us because it's taking longer than I thought. Taking much longer than we needed to, and we have changed our orders once again. This might have something to do with why we aren't getting any hits. Let's go back for that kingfisher. Now that we've destroyed the last Catalina, that is all there is to do. So let's fast forward. No, we can't because we're nearly in range, and that is going to be very easy as long as we get a nice strafe off there. Excellent stuff. Proper job. No issue whatsoever. Let's return back to the strategic map. So the plan so far is actually to double check. We have 1 day left with Ryuzo, don't we? So I've launched some Avengers out, all of them from the Taiyo, because we did spot some sort of task force. I imagine perhaps the same that we just struck with our submarines lurking about here. They were actually this close to Guadalcanal, appearing to retreat over this sort of line here. So we are going to carry on just scouting very quickly for them. And try and hit them with our Avengers. What we should really do, if we were smart, is actually launch a Jake off of here, but we don't actually have anything else available. So what I'm going to do is cycle back over to the Hyavses over here, and they can leave this and just see if the cruisers have gone around anywhere else over here. We can try and pinch them in with either a surface engagement with our cruisers here, or try and get them with our submarines here, because I definitely don't want them bombarding or doing anything with Guadalcanal over here. And it's interesting, they sent the planes from Reno Islands, quite the stretch, certainly within range, but I suppose we do have these scouts here, yes again. At the moment though, I am actually going to send the Hiyo back already, and that is because we're under no major pressure at the moment, and because we do only have to wait 1 more day for the Ryuzo to come back out, so I do want to get them on a quick sort of cycle round like that. And we're going to bring this I-9 back down as well. Now this is rearmed, which is brilliant stuff. So let's carry on, see what we got. We have come into contact with that group, and it does appear to be the cruisers that we hit previously. So actually a very nice choice going for the Cleveland there, because that's the majority, let's say a majority of their AA dealt with. So we're actually going to go for this Cleveland here now and possibly go for a sinkage on the New Orleans. It is rather battered already. Let's double check exactly what we have left in terms of New Orleans to sink. Don't think we've got very many at all. That might have been our only one. No, okay, so this is the first one we've actually struck. We haven't sunk any of them yet. Yeah, let's just go for it, shall we? Let's just bloody go for it. Let's go down to striking distance. Oh, I've missed this. I've missed doing this. Let's hope this is a fairly successful strike of Kate's, shall we? What we're going to do is send 2 at the Cleveland. Actually, we're going to send 3 groups at the Cleveland, just because I fear the AA. And we're going to send 1 group at the New Orleans. I sort of want to keep the New Orleans about if we had to. I can take it or leave it, whether we sink that is what I'm trying to say. It is already a little bit damaged, and I actually fear just the volume of firepower from the Cleveland a little bit more than the precision of the New Orleans. I think we can handle this fairly easily with our Mogami and Tone. I forgot to put these down to striking altitude. That is a massive mistake there. Don't want to be using our torpedoes as bombs, do we? No, that would not be very healthy at all, but it's not a problem. Didn't notice that too late. We're actually going to increase our speed as well to, I think, 156 knots per squad, or around about there, because we do want to zoom through the AA fire, and try not to linger in that too much, really, as well as try and make sure our torpedoes will be active when we go for the hit. Let's tell this group, they're going for the New Orleans, let's tell them to attack now, and let's tell this group to go for the New Orleans, shall we? Not the New Orleans, the Cleveland, as well as this group. This group, I think we'll tell it to hold up just a little bit. We have already lost a Kate there. That is rather unfortunate. Which group was that for? That, the hell, this is Key 43. What are we looking at here? That would appear to be from the New Orleans headed Kates, and that is not a problem at all. Actually, I think I will tell this group to go for New Orleans. Having said that, I think we'll be just fine. So let's go for that. Just because we lost that, of course. Just because we lost that. And they are focusing on the Kates going for the New Orleans, so we have lost both of those, unfortunately. Which is rather sad. We have dropped 2 lots of torpedoes onto the Cleveland here. This is not being managed well at all. But it's looking like it's going to pay off on the Cleveland at least. And that. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Very unfortunate. They were not going to hit the New Orleans, but this Cleveland is definitely going down. That is 6 hits. All of the torpedoes aimed at the Cleveland have hits. So that really should be going down. We're losing a lot of Kates here. But not to worry. Taiyo is mostly brought out for zeros and their protection they can bring. This is just to make sure they try not to hit Guadalcanal, and the Cleveland is sinking. Excellent stuff. We're gonna have a little collision here. No, you're not going to collide today, Mr. Benham. That's very unfortunate, isn't it? Could have been 3 damage there. We have lost a lot of Kates there, though. That is rather unfortunate. But let's retreat out before we lose any more, shall we? We lost 7 there, which is very scary indeed. But we did sink the Cleveland, and that is absolutely amazing. They should only have 4 Clevelands left in total. So we're going to tell them to come back to the Taiyo, and if we wanted to, that should be now a much easier fight for our fleet over here. Was it 3 destroyers and 1 New Orleans? We could even try and go for that, actually. So we're going to try and yeah, let's try and take it, shall we? Let's try and take it. So we've taken a little tickle damage ourselves. Nothing too bad. I have just double checked it. The most damage we've taken is just we've had a funnel loss on the Tone there. So its speed is rather slow at the moment. To be 54% of its maximum speed, which is rather sad there. So let's keep going. Alrighty then, so two things have just happened. Congo is now back at Ribble, so that can go into rest and repair. And we have just been resupplied back the Ryujo, so we are going to bring that straight back out. It will have no real rest. Let's go to CV. Oh, it was in CV actually now, isn't it? Let's go for that. And Ryujo, we could spend pretty much all of our points here and go for another Hiyo. How many points are we guessing? How many points are we guessing? 93. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go straight back for the Ryujo and stick with the plan there. And just go for the zeros once again. And that'll be absolutely fine. That's all we need. We can use our planes off of Guadalcanal and such now that we have a level 3 airfield there. So let's go for that. For those worried about submarine protection, we do have these just coming back in. They are coming in now to protect that, the Oshio and the Mishishio to come out now. So let's bring that down there to meet up with them. Let's double check how long that's going to take for the Congo show. 28 days! 28 days, that's far too long. We're going to get resupply for the Asashio as well soon. And we can think about whether we actually want to bring that back out. I think these two will be just good enough for an anti-submarine warfare group at the moment. We're probably not going to be able to catch the cruisers with our task force here. They were already along this sort of line when we last spotted them. They will have that much of a lead over our cruisers. So we're going to bring back. What has worried me is that I saw a fighter indicator around here coming up over to try and scout us out. I'm very worried about where that could come from. It's very likely a wasp, but it did look like it landed at Reynolds Island, which is strange because that's purely float planes. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. I'm bringing down the I-17 to have a look at that. We do have a lot of Jakes and such covering this area. So we'll just have to see. We might send this Glen out actually very specifically on a course over here. Actually, we'll tell it to return to base so it comes back with greater fuel and see what happens there. We could, of course, load up some Toryus out. But send 4 Toryus with nothing on it for the endurance there and tell them to come out over here like that. So they do have 1,000 kilometers worth of fuel, which is excellent for them. So once again, I'll come back with the reports in a few minutes, hopefully. Alright guys, it's been 2 bloody in-game days. We sent the Hiyo back to the dockyard. We have 2 days left on that. We've seen nothing apart from about one Wildcat squadron, which I've been trying to track down. We've increased our amount of scouts about. We have some Toryus now from Guadalcanal coming in this sort of gap here and round to the face of Guadalcanal here, as well as putting some Jakes out from the Shortland Islands to make sure that nothing's sneaking around the north end here. And it's finally got some sort of payoff. We're going to bring the I-17 directly over to that, and we're going to actually go to tactical with the Glen over here because it has spotted a carrier. At least it says so. Oh, that's a big old task force. All right, what have we got? What have we got? Ooh, okay. You know what? I was expecting that to be the Wasp. So this is a little bit on the worrying side now because they now have a Yorktown out and a possible Wasp as well. The thing is, this should be the last Wasp, the last Yorktown rather. Where are we? Yeah, so we sunk the Enterprise previously within the first couple episodes. Yorktown, of course, not available, so this will be the Hornet. Okay. Bloody love me a swatting of Hornets. They're bastards. We don't get them in our country, but I've seen that they're bastards. So what else do we have? We have a Northampton, 2 Northamptons. Is that an Atlanta? Yes, it is, and that's at Cleveland. Excellent stuff. So this is rather nasty task force, even without the carrier here. And there's a sizable amount of destroyers as well. Perhaps a oh, what does that look like? A Sims? Oh, okay. Benson or Gleaves over there. Some advanced stuff. Okay, Summers, Marn. I'm not liking this at all. Gridley there. Alright, so we'll retreat out of here. Nothing we can do about that with our Glen, apart from mark that very quickly, like that. That'll do. Let's go straight over and hopefully keep sight of that with our Glen. Of course, it will be moving quicker than our I-17 can. And we aren't in striking range with any aircraft. We're just going to have to make sure we scout this out constantly and pray for further contact. We are 1 day away from getting resupplied as well, though, and that will net us a hell of a lot of points there. Actually, that will give us a lot of points indeed. Very, very nice. So we might get a very spicy and special battleship out. You know what I'm talking about. It was very close to my heart, and I hope it's very close to all of yours as well. But we'll see what happens with that Yorktown out, I think. Well, this is a fun turn of events. We actually have a submarine course on radar trying to come up to Guadalcanal. So what we're going to do is actually, what do we want to do? The Torus carry heavier bombs. They can. Let's launch some 4 Torus with some light bombs there. Can we launch anything off of here? We can indeed. Let's also launch some Jakes with depth charges to see if we can get that over, if that does indeed decide to submerge, and go for that, shall we? We are still trying to hunt down the carrier, of course, but this has just caught my eye very quickly as well. And if we can get a free submarine kill, that would be brilliant. So let's try and get into that. Does look like we're right on top of them there. Where is the bugger? Where is it? Okay, there we go. So, Torus, all of you, attack, 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 please. Why are you in group of 3? That's very interesting. Let's go for that. We'll keep the Jakes over just in case. We'll keep it like that and keep them to targeting it. That does appear to be a Tambor, or Tambor, as the Americans may like to say. Let's go for a slightly lower altitude there, actually, on the geckos, just to see if that does help with the accuracy at all. But it doesn't appear that anything's happening there. So we're going to tell the Jakes to go in now, because it will start to submerge once we drop bombs on it. And I want to get them in as quickly as possible. We are dropping them. Hopefully we get some sort of hits. And then we can, if it doesn't submerge, we can tell the geckos to come around and strafe it. No such luck with the hits. They're very, very close. Does that do any... might have got some splash damage. That's what we call a naval joke there, splash damage. We are also going to tell them to just quickly form up like that and circle round for an attack, because it doesn't actually look like it's trying to... Oh, it is. Okay, brilliant stuff. It is going down. So let's increase the speed of these Jakes. We should have done that a lot earlier. And actually, oh, that's going to be turning very soon, isn't it? I'm going to do this manually, I think. Yeah, let's do this manually. Get a small turn round there, and gets the button on the drop there, and drop now, I think. Hopefully that will do something. Just waiting for them to land. Maybe just a little bit too forwards there. A little bit too early on the drop. But not to worry. Not to worry. We know that's there. So what we're going to do is, of course, pull back our cruisers. Bring them over to the carriers there. And we're going to launch some more planes, I think, to scout that out. Can Mavises bring depth charges? They can bring 12 depth charges per Mavis. That is excellent stuff. So let's do that. We can't launch any planes off there just yet, so I'll be back with you in a second, hopefully scouting that out. Alrighty then, guys, we now have our resupply of 93 command points, and you know what that means. It's time for the return of the mighty one, the... Yeah, there we go, lovely stuff. 110 command points, but it's worth every penny. Absolutely worth every penny there. What we're going to do with that, though, is bring it down, escort it with our Oshio and Mishishio, I think. Can we merge from here? Yes, we can. Lovely stuff. Let's swap positions since they are line ahead. And go down and join our cruisers, I think. And that will be a very meaty task force now with the mighty one on our hands. We are going to move then some supplies over to Guadalcanal. Let's go over like this for now. Like that. And actually manage some cargo over here. We're going to bring as many supplies as possible. Not so worried about troops at the moment. Supplies are what I want. We can bring engineering and fuel down with a separate task force that we have waiting in the north there. But supplies are exactly what we want right now. So we can stockpile them on Guadalcanal for the future. We're going to bring this group down as well. And you know me, I like to play risky. We're going to do it without any protection from submarines. It's exactly how I like to play there. Okay, so I know a lot of you will be very unhappy with me about that. We're going to bring some troops down actually anyway, just to fill up our slots there. We're going to bring 300 supplies down like that. And that should be decent there. That'll take just under a couple of days to get down. So 300 supplies breathe, 380 fuel there. That is okay. We're not going to have quite enough engineering. How much did we actually pick up there? Okay, interesting. Might have a little bit of engineering. I might have enough to upgrade. No, it's not going to be enough to upgrade it, but that's not a problem. Not a problem. It will be there to stockpile. So having said that, it's going to be a long episode, I feel. It's going to be a very long episode, just because I want to see if we can get that carrier or some sort of decent engagement in today. It's been quite quiet, hasn't it? Like I say, the game giveth and taketh sometimes with engagements. And we had our brown alert moment a couple episodes ago, and we had bogues and such coming up the Straits of Guadalcanal. We've had that a couple of times actually in this series, so I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with this Yorktown. We got over to our map notes over here, and of course it wasn't there, so we're assuming it's pushed on forwards at the moment with our I-17, and we're going to scout out with that and its Glen and such in the future. So we'll be back in just a second with another report, and hopefully it's a big old report with something decent. We shall see. Not too sure what to tell you here. Enemy troops have landed at Guadalcanal. It's just gone midnight. So visibility is of course terribly reduced, but I have destroyers right here, and of course we have the radar coverage as well, unless of course the people operating the radar also go to sleep at night, because that could be possible. So luckily we are just landing some supplies on anyway. We don't actually have any troops apart from the few that we took. Where are they? Let's see. The 880 troops on the single Kamigawa Maru. We are going to bring in the Yamato, of course, the mighty one. Going to try and scout out exactly what that was there. Assume they're going to retreat out this way. If that's not going to be the case, actually, I'm going to bring these supply ships back up. Just to make sure they don't encounter any surface ships there. That does seem to be quite a minor force, though, if our 3,000 troops are already looking like they could win that. So let's see what we find if we just press play here. Let's go to tactical here, and we could aim just here, really, to see if we can spot anything. But I doubt that's going to be the case. These are Yugamos. We do have radar. We're going to turn around out of the island. Of course, the visibility only 10%, which is absolutely terrible. We're going to use the binoculars, actually, see if we can spot any silhouettes or lights from anything. Doesn't appear to be the case, though. This would be ideal weather, though, actually, for some emergency torpedoes to be launched at anything. Just scared that we might be right on top of them. Surely they haven't escaped this quickly. May have to come back in a second for you. See what happens. That does appear to be something. No, just making things up in my head. I'll be back in a second and see if we can spot anything, actually. May or may not do. Well, it's now daytime. As you can see, air operations are now finally available, and absolutely no sign of anything. The most rapid of lightning strikes there. They're true stealth, but not to worry. Means we've got our own troops and supplies back safely. That is absolutely brilliant. Going to cycle over to our other suppliers there very quickly. We should be in range there. Yep, that is brilliant. So how's that helping? We have a lot of supplies there now, 11,000. Excellent stuff. And our troops should be okay there to fight that out. Like I say, we do want to finish up on over here actually. Now I am going to transport some from Melita over there just to help some troops. That is, these fuel oilers and such can go straight back to Rabaul. These ones can go and pick up just a couple thousand troops there so that we don't actually lose Melita in the process. And that should tip us over in the balance there. Since air operations are now available, we're going to have a swarm of scouts going out, and we will see exactly, hopefully, where those ships have got to. But of course, enemy ships do appear to be very, very quick, and they've had quite a lot of time. They have 5 hours to disappear from Guadalcanal, so we should just have to pray. So let's go. Like that. Yep, there we go. We've been spotted, so something's down the south here. Quite likely a carrier somewhere now. And it has spotted the Yamato, so we can expect to see something coming in. So I'm actually going to pull that back, and I'm going to give it some Hayabusa support while that happens. Without bombs, thank you. Where are we? We did rename it Yamato. There we go. So that should do there. Yeah, we can see a lot of fighters coming out in this direction, actually, can't we? Let's bring our I-17 over. It has launched its Glen, which is out here. We're going to tell it to return to base, and what we're going to do is actually tell some Toryus to come out and try and scout that down over here. That's 500 kilometers. That's just out the range, or just inside the range of Wildcats. Try and fill that gap. Yeah, some coming off of this direction as well. It's rather worrying there. There's another scout coming off of this direction. Okay, what have we spotted here exactly? It's some cruisers. That's probably where the scouts is coming from. Does appear to be the case. What do we have? We have a cargo supply. Excellent stuff. We have a supply convoy, rather. Okay, so a C3. 1 or 2 Arthur Middletons there. An Atlanta. Okay. So this is a prime target for our I-17. And they have a New Orleans as well. So I certainly want to go for the C3 and the Arthur Middletons first, if possible. And possibly the Atlanta, so that we can go for some airstrikes as well. Otherwise, not the most threatening task force there. Interesting. Okay, so that was about here-ish. That's lovely. We can go straight for that and hope we pick that up again. But this is quite fast, of course. That's very, very strange, that. Very, very strange indeed. But not to worry. I will be back in a minute with another report. Okay, so we have come into contact with that supply convoy. We are at a rather interesting position here. Because of their formation, they have all of their destroyers on the front screening, as they absolutely should do. And we spawned in the front of them. We are going to have to stay at 50 meters below sea level without causing cavitation. Because we are right on top of them, and I'm just working out exactly how to strike this ship. I certainly want to go for the C3 here, so that it doesn't have any. Well, so this task force has less supplies, of course. But as soon as we go to periscope depth, these destroyers will likely spot us. Sea State 3 visibility is 54%, but of course we will be making a lot of noise when we start climbing. And that is rather worrying. So, what is the distance to this destroyer at the moment? Yeah, that is within active sonar range there. May just have to risk it. I'll tell you what, no, we're not risking it. Wait for it to pass over us. We will stop moving, go to silent, wait for it to pass over us, and then we can attack the C3, I think. Because our solution is very, very nice indeed at the moment. Just going to listen out for any sonar pings. They don't appear to be using anything just yet. So it's just a waiting game, I'm afraid. Just a waiting game. I do apologise for it being a little on the slow side today. But things are rather tense, as you can see at the moment. They should be passing right over us now. With about 500 metres or less between us and the destroyer. Gonna give them a little bit of space. Let them pass over us just a little bit more. We have all the time in the world to hit this. It's absolutely fine. Might have wanted to stay a little closer to the surface. It's not a problem. Lost contact with the Fletcher. Not a problem. That's okay. All good. What's the distance to the Jervis now? Less than a kilometre still. It's going to be a very, very spicy climb otherwise. It's quite tempting actually to go for an Arthur Middleton perhaps, just to give us that little bit more time to get away from their destroyers. Because that Fletcher, I got the feeling he sort of thinks he knows we're here. He's going rather slowly, isn't he? Can't hear any sonar pings. They shouldn't know we're here. No one's moving. Let's risk it. I'm hungry for biscuits. Let's go to periscope depth. Should be alright there. Okay. How's that going? We ready to fire? I think we are. For the glory of the Japanese Empire, Gurai Hasha, I think. They've not spotted us, so let's go. Oh yeah, I've got it on manual. Don't want to do that. Do not want to mangle fire just yet. Don't want to ruin our perfect opportunity. They're very likely going to spot these torpedoes as soon as we launch them, and we are going to go back down to 50 meters, I think. Don't think there's any way they can dodge these torpedoes, so yeah, let's dive back down. No sonar pings just yet. But the sonar will become active as soon as they spot these torpedoes. But that should be just as soon as they hit the C3. We are safely diving right now. Let's see if we can move very slowly without causing cavitation. Cool, imagine actually putting so much thought into your submarine play. We're going to go this way actually, away from their destroyers. And we are causing cavitation, so what we're going to do is a slow down list. So that's because we're turning. Our torpedoes are very much on target. So this is a dead C3, or a sunk C3 to use the proper terminology there. Magazine explosion. Excellent stuff, and all three hit. So that is certainly sunk there. Very nice tactical strike there. Now, what's the destroyers hoping to do here? Are they sending out sonar pings? Doesn't appear so. I think we can retreat out of this very safely, actually. Want to linger on just to see if that really did work, actually. But I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be very nicely alright. Can't hear any sonar pings. I don't think they know where we are at all. If we really wanted, we could have stayed at periscope depth and tried hitting Arthur Middleton, but rather risky there, I think. Rather risky. It's a very nice little strategic tactical strike there. Let's leave that before anything bad does happen. And that's very kind indeed. Very nice. So I think we're going to try and get in one more engagement of some sort. It's been a very long episode otherwise. I do apologise. Please let me know what you're thinking if it does turn out to be quite a long episode, if you prefer that. It's just the nature of the game, I'm afraid. May cut down a bit later on, but I will see you with one more report later on. Alrighty everyone, I'm afraid that is actually going to be the end of the video there. After going through what we have captured throughout this video, it does appear that it's gone on for quite some time, and we have actually got more accomplished than I thought we did. So yeah, it's going to be the end, I'm afraid. On that bombshell, I'm going to have to say thank you very much for watching, and we shall pick it up tomorrow with the next video, where hopefully we capture some sort of large task force and we can get sight of that ruddy bloody carrier again. It'd be very nice to be able to sink that, to catch that with our submarine perhaps, or maybe find some sort of surface engagement with our Yamato here. I do want to, I'm very keen to get some sort of use out of this, give it some sort of maiden bloodletting, which would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it's just been more active than I thought it was, more active than I gave myself credit for, I think, in this video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and as ever, I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.